So in the wake of the Manchester terror attack, security is on the minds of many today. Joining us is the president of Special Solutions. His name is Frycek, and he was with us on Good Day Chicago, so we certainly thank you, sir, for coming back for the new show. You know, we want to mourn the victims, of course. We want to take time, we want to think about them, but at the same time, there is some outrage. There are a lot of people taking to social media today, people who had gone to that arena on prior occasions and said, hey, there's no security here or very little. People talking specifically, tickets being scanned, but bags not checked, backpacks not checked. So my first question to you is this, eventually we've got to get to avoiding this from ever happening again. Where do we place the blame? Is that on police in Manchester? Is that on the arena itself? How does it work?
Scott, it's about the venues. It's about the venues of large concerts and large events that there's going to be a lot of crowds at. And they're going to have to spend some money on privatized security as well as mix it in with law enforcement. Because it's profit versus, protection.
Sure. Let's talk about, we don't know much about this lone individual. We have read, or what we're hearing is that he used some sort of homemade explosive device. So, generally speaking, if I go to a Cubs game, I know I'm going to walk through a metal detector. I know that I'm going to probably have to open my arms and maybe a wand is going to... When we're talking about something like a pipe bomb, if that's what this was, what is the most effective tool for finding it before it's brought into a venue?
God's given dogs. Dogs are wonderful. And we're going to have to increase the amount of drugs or bomb-sniffing dogs out there. Because right now in Chicago, there's a lot of other countries, and I should say major cities, there's a decrease in them. We need more dogs.
So, as I mentioned, there's a lot being said on social media about this particular venue. Mm-hmm. Are we at a point in your mind, John, where we need to perhaps change our mind frame when it comes to dealing with potential attacks? If I turn to, say, Israel, where school-age kids from the 70s in classrooms are being taught, don't pick up a loaf of bread if you see it, because there could be a bomb in there, where we need to heighten our awareness. Are we coming to that point? I mean, we're pretty open here in the U.S., and we want people to freely be able to go anywhere they want and do anything they want to do, but security can't do everything. In your mind, are we reaching that point where we got to start instilling this even in our young people?
Unfortunately, Scott, we are. We have to be hyper-vigilant, especially when it comes to large crowds. Now, the thing is about America, it's all based upon convenience. And the thing is, like in Israel, you have to kind of stay in line for about 45 minutes before you see a show. I'm not saying we have to be that vigilant, but we have to be prudent and vigilant towards large crowd events.
Okay, so if I'm going to a concert in Soldier Field, or I'm heading to a Sox game, what advice would you have as far as, be alert, stay alert kind of thing, watch other people as well, help the people that are charged with our safety?
You ever notice when people come out of the mall, they can't find their car?
Yeah.
No one has a plan. If you have a smartphone, everybody has a camera on their smartphone. When you go to an event with your children, take their pictures so you have a current picture of the children. So God forbid, if they're missing in an occurrence like this, you're going to find them better. The thing is also have a plan. Have a plan to meet down at the Starbucks. Leave the venue 10 minutes earlier to avoid traffic, to avoid problems. Now, these people are taking advantage of our good faith system. It has to be follow through, meaning they're waiting out after the concert to do their dastardly acts.
Right.
So security has to be maintained from start to finish, and plans are paramount. Parents, young adults, and adults in like the old have to have a plan. What happens when your cell phone bleeds out? Meaning, in a terrorist attack, cell phone communication is going to be next to none. You're not going to be able to get through to your loved ones, law enforcement, or anybody. You're on your own. But have a plan. And there's nothing wrong with having a plan. Meet me here in the event this happens. If you need to leave the venue and there's problems, don't run to the door where everybody else is running to. Go to an alternative exit. Don't be trampled on. There's things that people need to know before they go in these large venues.
All right, great advice. John Frycek, thanks so much for coming in a second time today. Appreciate it. All right, still ahead, as we reported, many of the victims in the bombing were young, one as old as 8 years old. How do you talk to your kids about a tragedy?